Naomi and Bobby Bennett, the idea for a water feature started in the front yard. From their travels in Japan, they wanted a more welcoming and elegant invitation to their home, one of spiritual progression and serenity. As it turned out, it was the last one they built after looking at their backyard from a new perspective. In a hollow side yard below their decks, they saw the beauty of its site for a pond. Then they realized that their natural cliffs and ravine beckoned a design that allowed them to interact with the land while being its steward. Until then, it had been an impassable jungle of juniper and runaway invasives.
It was completely wild back here. It hadn't been groomed at all.
For years, the only accessible part of the backyard was a tugboat they built out of a former doll playhouse when their boys were little. Now an adventure for her daughter's little girl, it's mainly the adults' grandstand view of the gardens. It was 15 years after they bought the house when they began the transformation with Peter Flory of Oasis Gardens. As he and Bobby dreamed and fantasized, the original idea for a simple water feature and accessible paths among the trees got bigger and bigger.
And we hadn't planned to get it so big, but as he took away the cedar and unveiled the lot, we said, oh my word, it really deserves to have a waterfall.
Originally, they planned the waterfall to spill from the deck to the fish pond below. Changing gears, they turned the hole they dug into their hot tub, which cleared the deck, its former location, for a future outdoor kitchen. The fish pond, dug into the side yard near the house, also got modified when they realized their first attempt was too small for fish and plants.
And so it's been a work in process.
Along the way, they realized they needed a sitting place where the two water features meet.
And so it evolved, as you do the construction and you have a feel for the land, it speaks to you. It sort of tells you what it wants.
In construction is a bog, an idea they collected on a pond tour. Eventually, they'll layer it with carstone or holy rocks as a natural filter, with bog plants tucked in to frame the lines of the waterfall. Another idea occurred as they hauled boulders through the side yard for the waterfall. By then, attuned to stone, they realized that its indigenous rock formation was perfect for a grotto.
Well, that was a very messy hillside that could never be groomed, was too steep, was full of weeds, and it was, what can we put here to make it pretty?
To compensate for evaporation, they've installed several water collection tanks around each side of the house.
Plus, fish do not like chlorinated water, so it's much better to be able to use rainwater rather than city water. We're trying to save electricity too, so we actually turn off the waterfall at night, so we have an overflow tank to be able to store the excess water overnight and then put it back in when we turn it on in the morning.
They signify each garden entrance with mesquite cleared from the wilds of the backyard. Pruned, stripped, and stained, they first used them to support netting before they installed a deer fence. Then they realized their architectural potential.
The antlers you go through are portals into another world. And whenever you go to another walk or entry area, there's a portal to walk through to say you're going into a different space.
The plants are part of their ongoing process too. Still getting established, many were only possible after they installed the deer fence.
We had the ideas, we had some of the bones of what we wanted to create, but it really took additional expertise to really make it into reality.
That expertise was a collaboration in stages over 3 years with Peter, Dan Hosage from Madrone Nursery, and designer Scott Ogden. It's been an ongoing exchange of ideas based on creative energy, dedicated stone artisans, revelation of the land's potential, and fellow gardeners.
It's having the experience of going to the other ponds and seeing what people have done that makes us want to modify and add on to what we've already accomplished.